Fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, it was a wild weekend in Brooklyn, New York. Survivor Series and WWE Monday Night Raw have come to an end. You know what that means. It's 11 p.m. It's Monday night. There's only one person we could be joined with here on Wrestling Insiders here at downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, the zip code of champions. We're talking about the man that was the guiding light to the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship in 1994. The man that nearly blew the roof off of the Barclays Center's older brother, Madison Square Garden, from coast to coast around the world. The man on a mission himself, OSCAR, a man with a big day tomorrow. We're talking about Oscar. Oscar, a pleasure to have you with us as always. Disappointing that we're not in studio like we were last week because us two cats had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did have a lot of fun. And just to set the record straight, I don't know if I blew the roof off the place, but I did a pretty good damn job at the Barclays Center after a Brooklyn Nets game. Bruce Pritchard and Conrad had their show at the Barclays Center, and I was there, and I opened it up, and we had a rip-roaring time from start to finish.
Bruce and Conrad did their show at the Barclays Center?
They did their show at the Barclays Center. I was in the house, and part of that.
Whereabouts? They couldn't have had it in the main arena.
No, they didn't have it in the main arena. They had it in one of the, one of the conference rooms.
Oh, I didn't know that. Then they didn't invite me down, huh?
That was there, and it was a really, 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 really good time.
I was good enough to open in Boston and in Phoenix, but not in Brooklyn. All right, I know where I stand. But I'm not the guiding light to the WWF Tag Team Championship, so they needed you more than me.
We had excellent seats for the game. After the game, security came and got us and escorted us like we were superstars.
Wow.
And we went back into the conference room, and we had a really good show.
Well, I tell you, I had a lot of fun opening up those shows with Bruce. I know you were there for at least the one at the House of Blues.
I did like 7 of them.
So, it was like you were part of the show. I love it.
Yeah, I did. To record, I did like 7 of them.
Well, you know what? Coast to coast, globe to globe, around the globe, I should say. I'm a tired man, Oscar. I still haven't 8 to 9 days after the fact. I still haven't recovered from our extravaganza at Memorial Hall in Melrose.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing we're gonna revisit and talk about that some more because I didn't get into. We talked about it.
We scratched the surface last week, so to speak.
I didn't get into. First off, I want to know how it was for you because I had told one of your guys that I was going to come over there to see you, and you sent the text back going, no, like you was the Phantom of the damn opera. No, nobody can see me like this. I don't want nobody coming over here and tell Oscar I love him, but no. So what the hell was going on?
It was one of the worst experiences of my life. It was one of the most frustrating. Worst as in just the great disappointment that went along with it, the frustration, the disrespect, as a result of bullying and harassment that has gone on for the better part of 13 years. I think it's pathetic that City Hall's response has been what it is, which is basically to either ignore it or try and, like I said, you ask them what color is the sky, and they tell you the grass is green. But I before I go into my swan song, I certainly want to thank all of the great help that made the event come to life. Chairman Manolian, Charles Wilson, my gosh, all the video production people, Howard Miller, Walter Hillside.
You had some good people. Not to sound mean, we didn't need you.
Well, to be honest, that at one point when we realized what the reality of the situation is going to be, we kind of looked at it as, instead of me being upstairs doing the busy work that I do, I was 2 blocks down the street. So it was manageable. Was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. It took the life out of the event for me, but I have a lot of resentment, a lot of anger. I'm still at odds with City Hall. I have dealt with some of the most useless people known to mankind. We have a mayor whose sister-in-law runs the venue. Like I said, who's just a vindictive bully.
I'm sure I didn't even go up to her to say hello, but I did see Piggott.
You saw Piggott.
I saw Piggott.
Did you start to hum the Facts of Life theme song?
No, I didn't play with her at all. But
did you think it was Edna Garrett, Charlotte Ray?
You know what? To be honest, I didn't get up that close to her to identify her like that. I didn't want to. Because I know me.
Marty said she was a little flirty with him.
That might have been true.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and then you have the facts of life.
What I did was, on the early show, I kind of took the reins a little bit as the vice president.
Good.
I didn't micromanage nothing or nothing like that, but I did, start to question, why the show wasn't going on time. And, I gave a little pep talk to the boys in the back, told them to be safe and take care of each other and all that kind of thing like that. And like I said, I didn't step on nobody's toes, but I tried to do something to make sure everything stayed on track.
Well, there's so many stories that can be told on my end. As you know, there's a little mini documentary in the works. We started the first half of it, the before. We still haven't taped the after of yet because I'm still swamped from the moment my day begins to the moment my day ends trying to wrap up this event, which again, the reasons why I'll get more into in that video, because I want people to truly, if they're interested, to truly understand how much time and effort and work really goes into putting an event like this together, especially where, it's not a WWE corporate event. It doesn't have huge financial backing. It doesn't have, a great number of employees. Like I said, we have some of the great help that I mentioned. We have people like Dave Carter, Teddy Piantapapalupagapis, who came up from Florida. A couple of our number one assassins were missing for a couple of reasons due to life. So it wasn't easy, but again, we pulled it off because one thing we've always had is great people. And, I always try and go out of my way to thank those people. Maybe it's because when I started in wrestling, I wasn't in this position. I was one of those people. When I worked for Tony Rumble, I started off in video production for a little bit. And then when Tony realized, not that I didn't care about video production, but I had an aptitude and an interest in wrestling. As a high school kid, I was ringing the bell. I was posting the lineup sheet to the wall. I was writing it out for him as he would tell me the matches, things like that. That I would have paid him to do. When I was in the 9th grade. But for all the people that have to do the quote unquote grunt work, which is everything besides step into the squared circle and make the magic happen for the fans, without a great support staff, you're not going to have an enjoyable experience, or maybe as enjoyable of an experience. So you always need to show gratitude and appreciation to those people, especially the help that understood the plight that we were in. trying to deal with that venue. We always have Eric and his partner in crime in life, Kristen. They're a big help. Thing is, I hate to start naming names because then I start to forget people. But I know Dave, the intern, was there. Jackie, the joke man, was helping out. The John C. Riley of Boston Wrestling, an individual we're going to get into in a little bit because I'm on fire about it, Oscar, as our toy drive is now in peril and near ruin. See, I wasn't even there, so I can't even remember. It's hard. I can't even remember half of the people.
I'll give you some good news.
All right, give me some good news, baby.
I had some frustration because I took a huge loss financially coming to the event. I mean, I got what I got, but between the airfare, the hotel, the other logistics, but it all turned out okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. The best part about it for me was the Q&A session, because I go to a lot of events where I meet people that I know me, but I didn't work with them. The Q&A session was jam-packed, and everybody on it were people that I ran with and worked with, during my tenure in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And we got up there and we answered questions, but we were joking back and forth. We had inside jokes. We had special stories that we all shared because we all shared the same experiences. And it was a fantastic family reunion with Marty and with Doink. Doink helped train me.
Did he?
Sometime. And Medusa and Bushwhacker Luke, who I shared the stage with in Boston at the Garden.
That's right. It's Survivor Series '93. Yep.
Series.
Yep.
And it was just a really, really, really great time. We were all glad to see each other, and everybody was kind of tearing up because of so many suicides and deaths. You are grateful and thankful about the people that are still alive that you know and loved back then and you still love today, and you got to see each other one more time. That was beautiful.
Well, as I've noted before, look at the original incarnation of this event when it was supposed to be more 90s themed.
The 80s theme. Yeah, it was going to be back to the 80s at first.
Both Road Warrior Animal and Paul Orndorff are no longer with us. We'll never be able to enjoy their company again, hear their stories, get a picture, get a photo, an autograph for the fans. For us on our end that are in the Brotherhood, when I think of Paul, I get a little misty-eyed because, he was here at the studio. We did some tremendous interviews that are available on the Boston Wrestling Patreon. And Road Warrior Animal, he was interested in starting a series in studio of his own with us. We were going to test the waters with that. We had Joe in for appearances years ago, too. Joe was a very blunt man, a very upfront man. And that's refreshing sometimes. Some people don't like that. Some people do. But I mean, if you treated the man with respect and you lived up to your word, you had a man that would do anything to try and make your event the best it could be for the fans in attendance. And great amount of respect for Road Warrior Animal. And I thought the tribute that was done to all of the legends that we've lost was very nice, especially with the shout-out to, even with this incarnation of the 90s event. Look at what we had to deal with. You had Hacksaw Jim Duggan have prostate cancer surgery. You had the Berserker's dad die. You had a Slick in a situation where, quote-unquote, agents put him in a situation where he couldn't be with us. We had Duke the Dumpster Drosy messaging me at 4 a.m., that he wasn't sure if he could make the event because he had to be rushed to the emergency room for health issues. So, I mean, it was just, I thank you for stepping up to the plate and helping last minute, because before the Duke Drosy situation even happened, we were desperate. So, I mean, man, it shows that anything and everything can happen with these events. I think maybe years from now, maybe we might chuckle at a couple of things, or, but, there's a lot of sore subjects right now, even, with some of the talent. I can, me, I shoot from the hip, and last Monday, I shot from the hip with some dear friends down in the 352 area code in Stamford, Connecticut. I thought we had two difficult challenges on that roster that I found unacceptable. But again, I'll probably share the in-depth version of that for that little mini documentary. But even tonight, earlier tonight at 7:30, when I made those announcements about the toy drive and everything, I'm mentally and physically exhausted. It's one of those times where I say, you know what, I really don't want to do this anymore. But I do want to do it because I love it. I love the people involved. I know I have a lot to contribute. I just wish I was able to do it for Vince and maybe do this on the side. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for those that missed the bad news, Wrestle House 2 has imploded. We have literally lit a couple of $1,000s on fire. I know, Oscar, it's a sore subject for you, as you've been a big part of the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive going back to 2014 since you joined the organization. Captain Lou Data and his partner in crime, his partner in crime is a good man, but they're more of a package deal. But Captain Lou decided to back out at the last minute. He said it wouldn't help his media company, an individual that has never been trained, has no education in the world of media.
Wait, Captain Lou Data, the kid I met?
Yes. Lou
What's
Data.
his problem?
He said him doing the Wrestle House in Tampa, it wouldn't benefit his media company that he's starting. Someone that has no experience, that needs all the experience in the world, who should practically be begging to be able to take part in an endeavor like Wrestle House 2. It's pathetic. It's low. It's scummy. It lacks character. It lacks integrity. Because one thing you and I both know, and even though he's not a wrestling guy, he's a video production guy, in our industry, when you give your word, you give your damn word.
Right.
And now, again, a house that was rented, they're not going to refund that. Airline tickets, they're not going to refund that. I'm trying to see if there's any way that the car can be salvaged. You have talent.
Wait, I'm missing something. Why we can't go?
Because for us to be able to do it, we need to be able to get 6 cases of video equipment down to Florida. And we have to use Southwest because they give you the 2 free bags. So if I went myself, I could bring 2.
I got you.
So it just, there's no way. I mean, I spent a day and a half going insane trying to turn over every stone I could to see if there was any way, but I can't physically get 6 cases of video equipment down to Florida myself.
My question is, out of all the crew, there's nobody else that could take his place?
Well, think about how much it would cost to get an airline ticket at this point. You're talking about, you're probably looking at another $600-700.
Wait, when is it?
A week from tomorrow.
What date is that?
The 30th.
The 30th to the what? Coming back when?
I think we were coming back the 6th.
The 30th to the 6th.
Well, anyway, it led to, the talent being disappointed. They may have had some of that time off earmarked for other things, and just a really miserable, angry situation all around. Maybe there's a little positive news to come with it. We're hoping, where Marty was such a gem at the Back to the 90s show, if we could have that Marty in the studio every time, instead of some of the incidents that, we're not going to get into, but people, I'm sure, are familiar with what they are. If we can get the Marty that we had at Memorial Hall, that's a great thing. And I guess if any positive with all the crazy that's gone on over the past year and a half or whatever it may be, we have, airline credits under some of these guys galore. So we're hoping to get Marty in early December and put his credits to use. And then,
okay,
what do you got, kid? What do you got?
It's only going to be $300. Okay, it's $182 round trip on Spirit.
No, but we have to fly Southwest, or we have to pay for all the cases of video equipment.
Oh, okay.
If it was just trying to get people there, okay, you could be maybe a little bit more creative, but it's trying to take all the equipment. When we did it in when we were in Tampa for WrestleMania week. I mean, it was trying to get all of that down there was a challenge.
Amtrak is not an option.
I would say Amtrak would take a little too long, Oscar. I could only be gone for so long.
No, you just have to leave a day earlier. It takes a day.
No, it's just, you know what, it is what it is for 2021, unfortunately. We're working on Marty. We're working on Just Incredible because we need episodes of the Wrestling Insider's Extreme program on Tuesday nights.
Right.
And announced earlier tonight, one thing that makes me kind of happy is we're going to have a first-time guest with us that was going to be with us at Wrestle House. Not Wrestle House, the Back to the 90s reunion. We're going to put the airfare to use for the Berserker John Nord, who's coming in for a song, which is nice. He's going to try and tape episodes for a couple of days. He is, let me tell you, if you guys enjoy laughing along, let me tell you, I have high expectations for the show with the Berserker. He realized we were really crushed by what happened. So he's really, 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 bending in order to do this. And then we put those lost flight tickets to use. So something's better than nothing, but we don't have much.
I'm gonna tell you what.
What do you got, baby?
If it's before the Christmas rush, I'll come in for one show since you got the airfare.
Huh. Let's see what we can do. I'd love to have you in studio again because, and I don't have to worry about you flying in cases of video equipment. I don't think. You know what? Hey, that really might help. We are working on, and maybe it might work out best. I don't want to, because I don't know all the specifics yet. We're still trying to work out the fine details, but we're working on a live, almost like the weekend before Christmas, a live special where we do the Paul Bearer Cyber raffle, like the big raffle that we had at Memorial Hall, and maybe do a watch along, maybe have some guests down at the studio. Maybe that would be a cool time to have you in, maybe a day or two around then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see if we can figure it out. Obviously I don't have a computer in front of me, but that might be really, 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 really cool. And maybe give the fans, maybe tape a couple of episodes for the in studio as opposed to, not that they don't love us this way, but we received, I'll tell you, I don't know if you watched the premiere of our episode last Monday night at 11, but we received so many compliments about you being in studio. The fans really liked it. So.
No, well, good. And I thank the fans for liking it. I mean, I thank y'all for watching. Don't think it doesn't go unnoticed or I take it lightly. I'm really appreciative of you guys supporting me, supporting the Men on the Mission legacy and supporting the MWF as a whole. So, thank you guys. And, I'm sorry. We are all sorry that we have such logistical problems, but everything can't run smooth all the time. But thank you and just hang in there with us because the best is yet to come. 2022 is going to be amazing.
We are trying like you couldn't believe. Again, there's still venues I'm trying to rebook from 2022. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My God. There's a venue that we rented out in Somerville that has our money, and they lost their physical building. They're still trying to recover from that. We had a summer camp show. We had an event. We had a venue in Maine that we were going to be working with. We had a show in New York lined up over the summertime. I mean, and to lose all that and still not have it resolved yet, it's just more exhaustion. Trying to work out everything for the big event, marquee event, MWF Soul Survivor 10, which is Soul Survivor has provided so many great memories. Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose. When we go back to the 80s, that's going to take a lot of work. Talk shows 7 nights a week take a lot of work. I don't think the fans truly understand or appreciate that as they watch it. But a labor of love, I guess. It's nice when I love it, but when it gets to the point I hate it, Yeah, that's a different story for a different time, I guess. But to
Well,
see
you're
Paul,
not gonna
I guess at the
love-
end of the day, to see not only a toy drive to help kids, to update Santa Claus's GPS to find every kid's house, in case we have some youngsters listening, you know, to have that pissed on by someone, again, that they can't keep their word, has no morals, no character, no integrity. I'd like to spit in his face, to be honest with you. I'm very angry about it. I know John Cena Sr. would probably be telling me, you know, oh, you got to calm down. It's not right to be so angry. You know, I got the devil on one shoulder and I got John Cena Sr. on the other shoulder trying to guide me. I got the cross around my neck. But you know what? What's the phrase, an eye for an eye? I truly believe in that too. There was no reason for any of this to happen. If he chose after the fact to say, you know what? Okay, maybe this isn't going to help my media company, I would have had respect for him. But to do it before this took place, after saying, we're in, and to spend all that money on absolutely nothing, I am infuriated. To have these talents that were booked let down, even though they lived in Tampa, it's not like they were flying across the country or anything, but that has me infuriated. For the toy drive to be disrupted, that has me infuriated. And if he got hit by a bus and died, I really wouldn't care, to be quite honest.
You know, John Cena Sr., I love that guy. And for some reason, that guy loved me.
He does love you.
I'm shocked that he even know who I am because I never met him until.
Well, you are the vice president after all.
Now,
maybe he's doing a little ass kissing.
No, he remembers. He remembers. He remembers my career, and I'm impressed by that. You know, we always talk. We talked last weekend.
Well, he's very astute. You know, what a lot of fans don't realize is they think, oh, he was just around because he was John Cena's dad, and maybe that was true in 2007. But, you know, if you go back to the mid-'70s, before he became a dad, he was helping promote spot shows for the WWF up here in Massachusetts with Vince McMahon Sr. So, you know what? To say that his wrestling life has been limited to things he did after his son became a WWE superstar is incorrect.
Right.
You know, he's had quite the career, a very interesting guy. Geez, I only wish Johnny someday, in some format, would share his whole story because he's had such a very interesting life. Him and I have, you know, we've battled. You know, people have seen it firsthand. We've gone at it physically, verbally, behind the scenes, on camera. But there is also just an interesting, maybe bond is the way to put it. You know, I mean, he is like a father figure to everybody here with what we do, and that's why I kind of like how his talk show wraps up the week. You know what I mean? It's like after, whether you have comedy, craziness, tears of joy, tears of sadness during the rest of the week, you know, on Friday nights you got John Cena Sr. to tie it all together and make almost like a dad figure on a sitcom and make everything all right again. I don't know. One man's opinion, as they say. But a lot going on in the world of wrestling, folks. I'm getting the cue from the back, certainly not from that piece of garbage, Lou Data. We're going to take a brief time out. We'll be back with more of the Monday Night Mission here on Wrestling Insiders. Stand by. Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to this One Day Plus posted Survivor Series edition of Wrestling Insiders. Dan Marty here with your host, the man on a mission himself, Oscar. Oscar, tomorrow is a very big day in your world. Are you getting a little nervous at this point?
I'm not getting nervous at all because, let me explain this real quick. I didn't make the music for accolades. I didn't make it for a Grammy or nothing like that. I wasn't even thinking about that. I didn't think about it until it started happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's exciting, but you got to get at the point where if it happened, it happened. If it don't, it don't. You just keep on doing what you're doing. I mean, I'm going to deal with it either way. I'm just, I wasn't in it for that. So,
well, to interrupt you, for the fans that don't know what's going on, explain to them what tomorrow is.
Tomorrow is the day where you find out who's nominated for the Grammys. One of my songs, Socrates Cafe, is on a short list. Of that list of people who may get nominated, may or may not. I'm on the list of the nominees for the nominees. So tomorrow, when the show airs, and they name the Grammy nominations for 2021, I might be one of those people.
Where is the nomination announcement? Is it broadcast somewhere where people can access it on TV or online? Or how do you find out?
I'm a little confused by that.
Oh.
I don't know whether or not it's going to be on CBS. I don't know whether it's online. I mean, you guys got to do some research. They sent me a link to watch it online. They did do that. But I'm not sure whether it's on mainstream TV or not.
I got you. Well, I'm anxious to see what happens. I think either way, you should be extremely proud of yourself to get back into the rap game after taking a little time off. And now you have a song that is in consideration to be nominated for a Grammy Award. I think that is outstanding.
Well, I appreciate that. No, I don't. No, don't get me wrong by my comments. I don't take it lightly at all. I mean, I'm literally shocked by it. But I was taught a long time ago, don't get excited about the chicken if the chef ain't cooked yet. So let's see what happens.
Well, I'm sure the president of the Boston Wrestling MWF, Dr. David Reese, is excited. Maybe
he ain't excited nothing. That punk ain't called me yet. I ain't studying Dr. Reese right now.
You're a little upset with the president?
Yeah, I'm upset. I call him. I was calling him to share with him the last block of calls that I made, calling to share with him, all the things that happened last Saturday that he missed. He ain't answered the phone yet. He ain't called back yet. He did send me this long email that said, I'm busy. Oh, I mean, you the president. Oh, you the AEW guy. No, not for real. I'm just playing. But yeah, I get a little perturbed by him. He can pick up the phone for a minute.
Well, but like you said, he is a very, very busy man. But I think almost like Santa Claus, he knows all and he sees all. But maybe just communicating with him is the tough part. I don't know a lot these days. I'm still, like I said, physically and mentally just beaten down from last week. But did you have a chance to see Survivor Series last night, Oscar?
I did, for a rare time, I did get to see a pay-per-view. I got on my big chair and got some chips and a sandwich.
Now, what kind of sandwich was it?
I got it, what are the Firehouse Subs, the Hook and Ladder.
A Hook and Ladder, that was the name of the sub?
Yeah, it had ham, turkey, roast beef, everything on there.
You like your sub?
Yeah, I got a nice big sandwich from Firehouse Subs, and I watched it from start to finish, and it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't the best pay-per-view I ever saw, but it wasn't bad. I was wondering throughout the whole thing. I said, okay, the Big E, Roman Reigns, who they gonna put over? Okay, and then they gave it away. They gave it away.
What do you
when
mean?
They said Brock Lesnar's suspension was up. That gave it away right there. I'm gonna tell you how. Brock Lesnar's suspension is up, so that means he's gonna have a marquee match. Now, who is he gonna have that marquee match against? Roman Reigns or Big E? No brainer. He's not gonna have a marquee match against Big E. Nobody would care about that. So it had to be Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns got a marquee match coming up, or a couple of them, I might add, then he's the one that had to go over.
Well, I mean, there were no titles on the line in any of those matches, so in theory, he still could have lost. But where WWE is already starting to hype that Lesnar is going to be alive in Los Angeles December the 10th for SmackDown, it would make you think they'd want Roman as hot as possible. And I also think, to me, the giveaway was, Raw won every single match on the pay-per-view except for the final match. And you knew they weren't going to have a clean sweep. So, I mean, anyone that thought Big E was going to come away with the W last night, sorry they were disappointed, but it wasn't happening. I think, again, if you kept the title on Bobby Lashley, what a dynamic you would have had for Survivor Series with Lashley against Roman, as opposed to a guy that's been used as a comical joke for 10 years.
That would have been much better.
And I think you would have had the element of, Lashley really could win this.
Yep.
I don't think anyone thought, Big E is going to win this. I don't see anyone looking at it logically that could say, Big E, he could win. I mean, he's been treated as a joke. So I don't know how much more I can add than that, but I had zero expectation that Big E would win. I'll say this, I thought it was one of Big E's better singles matches. I thought it was a good match. I just, I felt like it was like Batman. I knew the ending to the movie before it even began.
Yeah, no, I mean, he did a good job. I mean, I hand him that. But
he worked his ass off. I'll give him all the credit in the world. And, I think the problem isn't exactly Big E. It was Big E presented as a goof. If you present someone as an idiot for years, how are you going to take them seriously? It'd be like Kevin Hart turning into a... yeah, exactly. You're not going to take that seriously. Kevin Hart it's a perfect example. He's almost like the New Day are almost like the Kevin Harts of WWE. They're great at what they do with their fun and their comedy. They're usually lighthearted. And I also think that's why, as much as I love Kofi, I think he's a great human being. I think he's one of the finest athletes to ever step foot in a WWE ring. But I think at the end of the day, even though the fans online wanted it, his championship run wasn't a success, That was the WrestleMania where they listened to the fans. They gave them Becky as champion. They had Rollins go over on Brock Lesnar. They had Kofi beat Daniel Bryan, and business went down the tubes. They were canceling house shows left and right.
Right.
So sometimes you can't always go by what the internet says, and I think maybe they learned that lesson at WrestleMania, or after WrestleMania 35, I should say. But I don't know. Again, with the roster cuts they've had, I mean, I think you could have more impressive world champions right now that aren't with the company than are in the company. I mean, would Strowman be a more credible world champion than Big E? Would The Fiend be a more credible world champion than Big E? I mean, I think that kind of answers itself.
Yeah, now, speaking of that, what do you think of this round of cuts? I mean, it's some things that I just... Oh, wait a minute. Where was Doudrop last night? She wasn't in nothing?
Doudrop wasn't part of the Raw team.
Yeah.
She's apparently is going to be attached at the hip with Bianca Belair for a little bit in some matches that I think will largely be forgettable, but that's just one man's opinion. Again, look at some of the people they cut. My God, you talk about, John Morrison? I think his entire return was a waste of time. Again, they brought him back, and instead of treating him as someone serious, I don't know, could Morrison be a main eventer at this point? I don't think so. Is he someone that could be in TV main events to build up the big stars for the pay-per-views? Absolutely. I could see him as a credible TV main eventer. He's still one of the most athletic guys in the company, even though he's a hair older than I am, believe it or not. To see him, but instead they used him as a comedy goof with The Miz running around with squirt guns and doing just complete and utter foolishness that no one wanted to see. Instead of presenting him as a great athlete that could have great matches, they put him out there. They wanted to make him an entertainer and make him an idiot, and they lost value in the John Morrison brand, quote unquote, as a result of it. And it's a shame because there's a guy, still going strong in his early 40s. There was no reason for it to work out the way it did. I knew he was done before it even started when just a couple of weeks after his return, Lesnar eliminated him from the Royal Rumble within, from what I remember off the top of my head, just a few seconds. I said, that's not a guy they're pushing or going to protect. And it turned into a waste. He had his big comedic WrestleMania moment with Bad Bunny. But I mean, okay, ha-ha, 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 yeah, okay, ha-ha. He was attached at the hip with Miz. They had squirt guns. They had wheelchairs, ha-ha, ha-ha. Instead of, okay, use him as a baby face and have some great matches. Imagine how good he could have made Roman look. Imagine how good he could have made Lashley look when Lashley was the world champion on Raw. But instead, let's make him look like a complete and utter buffoon. And you know what? I hope they're laughing because they flushed another great money-making talent down the toilet. I'll tell you the one that really got me, Oscar, and someone that I'd like to see here in Boston Wrestling MWF, the Hit Row faction that was just brought up from NXT to SmackDown with Isaiah Swerve Scott. They got about 6 weeks worth of TV in SmackDown. They tried to set up a little feud for them, and then they released all of them out of nowhere. I mean, come on. I mean, you have to give people a chance sometimes. It takes, instead of just bringing them up blindly from NXT with no build-up as part of their ridiculous draft process that they do, which is, I'm going to assume, put together by people that have never seen how a professional sports draft is executed. They brought up Hit Row to SmackDown, no vignettes, no real explanation as to who they were. We'll go back, you know what? We'll compare Hit Row to Men on a Mission. When Men on a Mission came in 1993, what was there? 6 to 8 weeks worth of weekly vignettes trying to get Men on a Mission over?
They ran them vignettes for a while.
Yeah, and they didn't give I'm sorry.
So when Men on a Mission came, everybody knew who they were. It wasn't no mystery.
So imagine if they did that with Hit Row. They didn't even give Hit Row 6 to 8 seconds of build-up when they drafted them to SmackDown. The fans that don't watch NXT, which is a lot of them, were very unfamiliar with who they were. So it's almost like starting from scratch week one. And if you're not building them up and hyping them up to where the fans, the larger fan base on SmackDown is familiar with them, they're going to get a cold reaction coming out because the fans don't know how to react. I think Swerve Scott, what was his name? He was Isaiah Swerve Scott in WWE. Shane Strickland before he went to WWE. I mean, not the biggest dog in the fight, but just an outstanding athlete. Again, WWE flushes what could be great talent down the toilet. Some of the other releases, Jackson Riker, I don't see that as much of a loss. Shane Thorne, that was in the Retribution faction, I don't see that as much of a loss. I don't know what your thoughts are on the most recent 8. Did you see Hit Row at all on SmackDown?
You said Hit Row?
Hit Row, that new faction with Isaiah Swerve Scott and the rest of them that were in NXT.
No, I did not see them. I don't know nothing about them.
Well, you need to watch the shows more, Ross, because we have something to talk about, for Christ's sakes. But I just, if it came down to one I could save, if they said, you can pick one that we won't release, it probably would have been Swerve Scott, because he's younger than Morrison. And I think long term, you could have him around more. Morrison's in his early 40s. Is he going to be full-time in 10 years? In 10 years, Swerve Scott will be Morrison's age now. So I would have gone with that. But again, that's just one man's opinion. That's why we have these talk shows. They're all about opinion. But back to Survivor Series, Oscar. What did you think about the much talked about women's match? The tension from the behind the scenes problems supposedly with Charlotte and Becky Lynch, where they had a segment on TV that went wrong, where Charlotte kind of took creative liberties in the back and forth with Sonya Deville and Becky Lynch. They gave them a lot of time to open the show, that's for sure. What did you think of the women's match?
No, I thought it was one. I thought it was one of the better executed things of the night.
I liked the finish.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I like the finish, but okay, I'll put it like this. I like the finish, but it was hard for me to believe the finish. I mean, I know Bianca Belair is...
Oh, no, I'm talking about Becky Lynch against Charlotte, the opening matchup. Champion versus champion.
Sorry. You know what? I'm glad it turned out the way it did. They put on a very good match, which Charlotte can work with anybody. So I expected it to be good. But I don't like Charlotte. I just don't like her character. Her arrogance is just unbearable. So when she lost, when she didn't get put over, and I look at it as a fan, when she lost, I was extremely happy.
Well, I tell you this, Oscar, not to try and be too personal, but man, sometimes when they shoot her video-wise at a certain angle, you almost don't even recognize her. She's had so much work done. I mean, first she had the breast reductions because her implants kept popping. But I mean, the face reduction that she had earlier this year, she doesn't even look like her. She looks like an elf. And then, do you want to know what came up during as we did the live Survivor Series watch along? I don't know if you had a chance to check that out with myself and John C. Manicus Riley, but we were some of the fans were asking if Piggott would look good in the red outfit that Becky Lynch wore.
Why? See, why you killing it for next year? Stop, leave it alone.
Well, I mean, it wasn't an insult. It was, would she look good in that outfit? I don't know. Do you think? What do you think?
You know she wouldn't. I know she wouldn't. So knock it off.
Why do you say that? Why do you say she wouldn't look good in it?
Damn, Marty.
I don't know. I don't know if it was leather or latex, but maybe Piggott would look good. It would match your red hair. I don't know.
Oh,
but, yeah, I tell you what I thought was the match of the night, and it was the one I was probably looking forward to the most, an undercard match. Randy Orton and Riddle, the Raw Tag Team Champions, defeating the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. I thought that match was exceptional.
Yeah, that was good.
And you know me, I love good tag team wrestling. Riddle and Orton as a team, to me, is kind of, I like Riddle bell to bell. I think Riddle's promos are absurd. I think the skits they do with him are absurd. I think his entrance is absurd. I think him and his flip-flops is absurd. But when it comes time for the man to actually work, he is very, very good. Very watchable.
I can't argue with that.
And I see, as we head towards WrestleMania, probably an early 2022, an Orton heel turn to have those two face each other at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, April 2nd or 3rd, one of the 2 days. But I think that'll make for a really good singles match once it happens. And instead of, I'll give WWE some props. Usually they're quick to break up tag teams at certain points. It looked like they were headed in that direction with Orton and Riddle at one point. But, they're running with them a little bit. And I think once it comes time for them to split, which, again, I'm going to guess is going to be some part in early 2022, you know what? That is going to have some value. The fans will be invested more in the two of them as a team. They'll dislike Orton more for turning on his partner. Maybe you'll see a situation where Riddle eliminates Orton from the Royal Rumble, where it's every man for himself. And that starts the tension, where Orton starts to seethe a little bit. And then, if it was good booking, over the next couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, you sense that tension in their tag team matches, and then eventually just 1 week, maybe they lose the tag team match to somebody, and boom, RKO out of nowhere on Riddle, and there you plant the seeds for a great WrestleMania match. That's how I do it. I don't know.
No, that sounds like exactly the future.
Well, if they do it well.
You hit it right on the head. I can't see it going no other way.
And we're taping this episode before we see Monday Night Raw tonight, but what do you think about this mystery about Vince McMahon and the golden egg from the Rock's movie?
Well,
are you there, Oscar? What? You're breaking in? Now I got you. Okay. What do you think of that?
Red Notice just came out. I saw it. Wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
It just came out. So if you didn't see this.
I think you broke up again, Oscar. I don't know if you can hear me.
Hold on.
All right.
I hear you fine.
Okay, good.
I said, Red Notice just came out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't see Red Notice, then you didn't understand the reference of the egg. So
I had no idea what the egg was.
Exactly. It was just early, say, every at least a week. For them.
You're breaking up again. I don't know what the hell you're doing over there.
To do anything with that, for the fans to understand what that was all about, and then it goes back. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it. You remember SummerSlam '94?
Yes.
With Leslie Nielsen looking for the
Undertaker.
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen. That's what it reminded me of, and that ain't good.
Do you think the fans were let down, as there was probably where it was the 25th anniversary of The Rock and they played hype videos for him all night? Do you think there were fans that would?
God.
Whoa, whoa.
I'm disappointed.
Do you think the fans were disappointed that The Rock didn't come and get his egg or whatever it may have been?
I was disappointed that The Rock didn't show up because I was like, I expected it to happen.
Do you think they hyped him up too much for his 25th anniversary and him not being there?
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yes.
It would have been, maybe one time they could have acknowledged, it's 25 years since The Rock's debut. What's cool for me is that was the first time I was ever at MSG was that night, back in November of 1996. That was a cool experience for me to be in the world's most famous arena. But I think they hyped. I understand that they had the promotional tie-in for the movie. That's fine. But I wouldn't have all night have done Rock 25th anniversary videos because you set the fans up for disappointment. Why disappoint them intentionally?
Oh my God! Because I was glued to my TV. I wanted to see him, and then they had that little. That little credit bar at on the corner of the right side, he was not coming. I'm like, oh my God, how could y'all do this to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. That was a disappointment. And I'm sure a lot of people, not only in the audience, but around the world watching on TV, was really, really let down.
Well, I'll ask you this, Oscar. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rank Survivor Series?
Scale of 1 to 10, it was a solid 5.
Really? Wow. Geez, I actually went as high as a 7. Maybe it's because a lot of them this year haven't been as enjoyable as yesteryear, but, you know, the worst match of the night I thought was the women's 5 versus 5, and even that wasn't horrible. I thought it didn't have maybe the sizzle that one of the big 4 pay-per-views should have.
Excuse me, you see a car right there?
What?
Okay.
Oh.
No,
I was going to say I see many cars right now.
No, I'm talking to you, and I got my lift car right here.
You lift?
Yeah.
You're getting in a lift?
Yeah, I'm getting in a lift.
Where are you going? You get another sub?
Yeah, no. No, I'm actually, Dreamy Me is in Michigan.
Now, what is she getting this mystery baby?
Yeah, she had to go to a funeral.
Oh, a funeral. But what about the baby?
No. No news about the baby.
No news about the baby. Oh. All right, Oscar, if you're in a lift, that might be a great time. I've already got.
No, I'm not in it. The car that came up was not the lift.
Oh, it wasn't yours. Okay. Well, we're running short on time as it is. You gave it a 5. I gave it a 7. Fans, what did you think of this year's Survivor Series? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below or in the premiere chat. Oscar's so hot right now, they need the fire truck to put him out, I guess, down in Atlanta. What's the weather like in Atlanta? Make me jealous.
It is pleasant.
Well, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's got to be like 66.
66? Well, I think today we may hit the low 50s. Thanksgiving, we're going to hit the low 50s, and then we'll be lucky to see the low 50s until probably April. So the cold weather is a-coming, baby. What do you have planned for Thanksgiving, Oscar, before we go?
Family and turkey.
Yeah.
Ham.
Traditional. All right. Now, do you have a favorite dessert for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, banana pudding.
Banana pudding.
Definitely.
Well, I'm a big fan of the old Boston cream pie. I like the chocolate pie with a nice graham cracker crust.
After that pay-per-view
with
last
whipped
night,
cream on it. Huh?
After that pay-per-view, after that letdown, I need something to cheer me up. But again, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
No, I think the wrestling from start to finish was actually pretty good. I think for Survivor Series, there should have been some kind of sizzle to it. You know what I mean? One man's opinion.
No. You're right. There should have been some sizzle to it, but you're not always going to get sizzle with that steak. This is not the worst of the worst of the worst of the pay-per-views that we've seen over the years. So.
Oh no! I mean, there's been some clunkers in 2021 in other years, but I can't fault any of the athletes. Every one of them went out and worked hard and they delivered. And like I said, I can't think of a match that there's maybe certain spots, certain things I wouldn't have booked if I was in creative, but just as far as the person watching it. The women's 5-on-5 match wasn't great, but other than that, I thought it was everything else was solid.
Let me ask you this before we go. I didn't ask you this. The men's 5-on-5, Kevin Owens just walking out.
He thought he was Bad News Brown at Survivor Series 88.
I thought it was priceless. I thought it was priceless.
They haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
Bad News Brown, I think, was the only person that's ever done it. We know how long ago that was.
Yeah.
No.
Bad News Brown scared everybody in real life and from the stories I hear.
I was a big Bad News Brown fan. I think it's too bad he was at the age he was. I think he would have fit in great during the Attitude Era.
Yeah, even Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had that confrontation on the bus. I mean, imagine Bad News Brown at his peak working with Austin. I think that would have been a hell of a feud.
Oh, no, you're right about that. Those attitudes clashing those attitudes alone would have been something else.
Bad News and The Rock. He could have been a good feud for The Rock. Undertaker and Bad News Brown. He was kind of old when he got into wrestling, where he had that Olympic background in judo and so on, and other athletics. But too bad, a shame. It is what it is. I'm not the world's biggest Kevin Owens fan. I was happy to see him gone, but that's just me. Any final thoughts before we go, Oscar?
Oh, yeah, I got a final thought. Let us really look into the toy drive, like you said. If you want to have me, I'll be more than happy to come. And then I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell everybody something. It's for the kids. It's for the toy drive. And it's because I love my man, Dan. I found out when I came last week, traveling from Atlanta to Boston. It is not a cakewalk. I mean, I could not find a direct flight, which is what I prefer, because running around the airport is not fun. When I got on my way home, I found myself on the wrong side of the international terminal. They wouldn't help me with a wheelchair, so I had to walk clean across the terminal. And I mean, I didn't have a good time, but I am going to come. Maybe I learned my lessons on how to work things out better. I'm thinking that. But yeah,
you gotta book the wheelchair when you book the ticket, brother.
No, I did that.
Oh, you did? Really? And they still didn't help you? Wow.
Okay. Oh, no. What happened? This is interesting. What happened was when I booked the ticket wrong. I booked a ticket from Atlanta to Boston instead of Boston to Atlanta. So when I got to the airport, I was way in the wrong place.
Oh, boy. Well, no wonder why you had so much fun, quote unquote.
Airline and everything. So I had to take the bus way over to it was an ordeal. But I'm coming.
Well, that's why you're a man on a mission, baby. Leave your thoughts in the Premier Chat or the comment section below, fans. Don't forget, there's so many different ways you can help the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlock Toy Drive. We're going to be opening up the Cyber Raffle this week, where fans from anywhere in the country can enter and help our efforts, where Captain Lou Data has decided to piss on our toy drive and ruin what was going to be a lot of fun at Wrestle House 2 with Jerry Briscoe and Bushwhacker Luke and Dutch Mantel. But I'm not going to rant. I've done enough of that. I had a video that came out before Raw tonight if you want to hear the in-depth version of what's gone on. For my partner in crime, your host with the most, the man on a mission, the perhaps Grammy-nominated Oscar, I am Dan Marty. We'll see you next Monday night at 11 p.m. after Monday Night Raw for Wrestling Insiders Monday Night Mission. You and yours, good night from Boston. Fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night.